Hi, my name is Brandon Hosbeck. I'm the Training and Safety Officer for the Saginaw Fire Department. And the following video you're about to watch will display the agility test for new hires for the Saginaw Fire Department. The Firefighter Agility Test is a timed event consisting of 9 evolutions which represent typical fireground activity. All exercises are completed wearing full protective clothing and a self-contained breathing apparatus, or SCBA. No face piece is used during the test. Fire suppression turnout gear will be provided if you do not have your own. The time starts at the beginning of the first evolution and stops at the completion of the last evolution. There are 3 30-second rest periods scheduled into the sequence. These are mandatory and must be observed by each participant. To successfully complete the test, an applicant must complete all 9 evolutions and the 3 rest periods in a total time of 13 minutes or less. A final word of caution. Before participating in the Firefighter Agility Test, be sure that you are in satisfactory physical health. It is recommended that you contact your personal physician prior to engaging in any strenuous activity. Any questions can be directed to the Saginaw Fire Department Training Division at 989-759-1378. Evolution 1 requires the candidate to remove a 24-foot extension ladder from a fire engine, carry the ladder 25 feet, raise it against the building, and position the ladder for climbing. Dragging of the ladder will not be permitted, and the ladder must be footed at the bottom of the building when being raised. The candidate will begin Evolution 2 by approaching the starting line and picking up the nozzle. The candidate will then walk as rapidly as possible, pulling the 2.5-inch hose and nozzle for a distance of 150 feet. The nozzle must cross the finish line. No running is allowed during this event. Evolution 3 consists of dragging a dry 1 3/4-inch hose line through a simulated tunnel 25 feet in length and 36 inches high. The nozzle must fully clear the tunnel. The candidate will then drag an approximately 110-pound dummy back through the tunnel once again until it has completely cleared the tunnel. After Evolution 3, there is a mandatory 30-second rest period. Evolution 4 begins with the candidate picking up a folded length of 2.5-inch hose and placing it on their shoulder. The candidate then walks to the simulated open joist arrangement and walks the entire length of the simulated joist. Once reaching the end, they then must turn around and walk back to the original starting point. If you step off of the simulated joist at any time, you must immediately step back on. Stepping off of the ladder beams twice results in starting Evolution 4 from the beginning. If you step off the beams during the turnaround, you must repeat the turnaround. After completing the joist walk, the hose is carried to the 3rd floor balcony of the training tower using the interior stairway and placed on the landing of the 3rd floor. After Evolution 4, there is a mandatory 30-second rest period. Using a rope and hose roller, the candidate will pull a 2.5-inch hose line up and over the hose roller until 50 feet of the hose and the first coupling pass the line on the floor of the tower. Evolution 6 is completed by extending a mounted 28-foot extension ladder to full extension and locking it in. The ladder is then lowered using a hand-over-hand method and locked in at the bottom. The halyard is not allowed to slide through the candidate's hands while lowering. After Evolution 6, there is a mandatory 30-second rest period. The candidate will grasp the pike pole and step behind the designated mark. Reach as high as possible and pull downward on the pike pole. This raises the 50-pound weight. The weight must pass the mark on the wall 30 times, and each pull must be a full pull. Improper pulls will not be counted toward the 30 pull requirement. Evolution 8 requires the candidate to grasp the pike pole and step behind the designated mark on the ground. The pike pole must be pushed upward until your lowest hand goes above your shoulder or the weight hits the metal stop. The pike pole must be pushed successfully 30 times, and improper pushes will not count toward the 30 push requirement. The last timed evolution requires the candidate to carry 4 items commonly found on the fire ground. The items are a smoke ejector, CO2 extinguisher, 50-foot roll of 2.5-inch hose, and a 50-foot roll of 1 3/4-inch hose. Each item must be picked up, carried 22 feet to the 4-step box, carried up and over the box, carried another 22 feet to an end line, carried past the end line, and then returned to the starting line using the same path. Each item must be carried in the proper fireground manner. At the successful completion of the firefighter agility test, the candidate will have their blood pressure taken and be given the opportunity to rehydrate. If the candidate failed the first attempt at the agility test, the candidate is allowed a second attempt at passing this test. Once the candidate is ready, the post-agility aerial climb will occur. The aerial ladder climb is separate from the agility test and is not timed. It is designed to determine if the candidate has an abnormal fear of heights and is capable of performing above-ground fireground functions. The candidate will don a harness that is attached to a life safety rope and ascend the 85-foot aerial ladder that is set at 65 degrees. They will climb to the top of the ladder and touch the top rung. The candidate will then descend the ladder and return to the ground. Once the ascent has been started, the candidate cannot stop or take a break until the entire climb and descent has been completed. The candidate will be given 2 opportunities to complete the climb. If the candidate falls off of the ladder, the evolution is terminated and the individual has failed. Thank you for viewing the Saginaw Fire Department's physical agility test. We want to wish each candidate good luck in your attempt to join the Saginaw Fire Department.